Hi everyone, it's Derek from the iReady podcast here, and this is my reaction to the 1-1 draw with Hibs away tonight in the Premiership. What can you say about that? Just, considering we played so well in the first half, and the second half was a bit of a dull game all over, to be honest, but I think Hibs maybe came out certainly the better team in the early stages of the second half, and then obviously you could see it coming a mile away. They were getting more and more into the game, and a silly defensive blunder once again, and we conceded that goal. And once again we drew a match when we were well in control of the match. Once again we never made changes when we should have, when it was very clear to. Once again we've dropped points against Hibs when we really shouldn't have. That's 6 points we've dropped against Hibs so far this season, when we were in control of all three of the games so far with them. And I've got to say, Steven Gerrard's got to carry the can for this one, for not making the changes, because it was clear to see that we weren't getting anywhere in this game, and certainly in the second half. And even in the first half it was quite hard to see where a goal was coming from, and we did get the goal, but it's just frustrating because everybody can see it, and he never made the changes to counter what Hibs were doing. In the first half we completely dominated it, really some exceptional play from some of the players, brilliant skill. Kamara was outstanding. Kent, maybe a quieter game, but certainly showing some flashes. Arfield as well, apart from his shooting, was great, and getting into the heart of the midfield as well. Morelos, a quieter game in the first half. He was certainly working hard, but he was largely ineffective, and we weren't getting the break of the ball. But as I've said time and time again, you make your own breaks of the ball sometimes with the way you play. We were just really choosing the wrong option every single time when it came to the crunch. When we got to the final third, we were passing when we should have taken a shot. We were taking the extra touch when we should have shot. We were shooting when we should have passed out to someone, and some of the deliveries were very poor as well. We're overhitting a lot of the ball tonight, and I know the pitch was in very poor condition, but it's the same for both teams. Hibs don't train in that pitch, so they're not going to. It's not like an AstroTurf pitch where the opposition might know the nuances of the bobbles of the pitch. It's same for both teams. Just really disappointing in that respect, in terms of choosing wrong options and overhitting balls. Hibs weren't in the game at all. We just completely dominated. I don't think McGregor had anything to do, and we did get the goal on the 42nd minute with Daniel Candeias. It was a quick break through the middle, play to the right to Candeias, who had a shot. It was blocked by the defender initially, falls back to him, who had a brilliant curling shot right into the top right side, an absolute peach of a goal, and it was outstanding. It was deserved, certainly, but sometimes, as I said, you wondered where the goal was coming for at times. Obviously, we've got to talk about, just after the goal, one unsavoury incident that happened with Tavernier going to retrieve the ball for a throw-in. The ball was on the deck. A Hibs fan jumps over one of the advertising boardings and gets involved with Tavernier, tries to push him out the way and kick the ball away. Tavernier, quite rightly, has a right go at him and starts pushing him away before the cops and the stewards huckle him away. But how many more times are we going to see this at Easter Road, and involving Hibernian fans as well? What happened in the Scottish Cup final a couple of years ago has given them licence to do what they want. We've seen Buckfast bottles thrown at Celtic players, in the previous game involving Hibernian. What does it take for the authorities just to say, no, enough's enough with Hibs, we're shutting you down? They got involved with Hearts. They were throwing coins and everything like that at the Hearts goal earlier on. There's been punches and everything thrown. What does it take? So going into the second half, obviously got to be fairly happy, completely dominating the game. I kind of expected Hibs to come out a wee bit, and they did. But again, we largely controlled that second half. We just never had any chances, really. We were very poor in that respect. We were getting the ball into positions, but again, we were still choosing wrong options, overhitting balls. I wouldn't even say Hibs' defence were brilliant, or they played solidly tonight. It's just we were choosing the wrong option every single time, and Hibs were doing their job. They weren't doing anything outstanding. A well-oiled defence, a well-solid defence is Kilmarnock. They know how to defend. I think Hibs were more fortunate than anything that we were off the boil and up front tonight. they were doing enough, put it that way. They weren't doing anything exceptional. But Hibs started to come back into it, and they had a couple of chances, and that's the same problem with us every single game. We do not work the opposition keeper, whereas the opposition work our keeper several times. McGregor had to make a couple of great saves in the 56th minute, where there was a quick break up the park, and it was very poor defending from Goldson being turned. It was a simple ball into the middle of into the middle of our box from the left hand side. Our attacker got in front of the defender, who I think was Worrell. It was a shot from the attacker, forcing a save from McGregor, deflected back out to the Hibs player on the left, and narrows the ball into the box and gets a shot off, and another great save from McGregor. But that's the pattern it went throughout the second half, and you could see they were getting closer and closer. Our defence were pushing up, trying to get the second goal, and once again we got hit, and it was pish poor defending all round. I think Tavernier has got to carry a lot of the can for this, because he lost out in the ball on the edge of the Hibs box. He flailed his arms up when he was on the deck, no happy about getting what he thought was fouled, and you seen him casually strolling back. That's not what you should be doing. You should be busting the gut, especially when the Hibs had a quick break up the park after that. And once again, I said it in the last pod, Goldson cannot track his man. And that is the reason why this goal went in, because he lost his man once again. Basically, as I said, Tavernier lost the ball at the Hibs box, strolls back, there was a break up the park from Hibs. We had more than enough bodies back, and that's what the annoying thing. I think Hibs had 3, we had about 4 or 5 back at the time. None of them really picked up the men. However, the ball got played across to the right. It was crossed in, knocked to the back post, where the Hibs attacker had lost Goldson, and basically it was a tap in at the back post. Very poor defending. This is something that Goldson really needs to work on, or he gets dropped, because that is not acceptable. And what I would say is football manager tactics. Gerrard decided to take Arfield off and Defoe on, and our arses collapsed really after that. We just didn't play. Hibs were on the ascendancy, and we had lost our midfield with that. Arfield was getting in amongst everything, and as much as I said his shooting wasn't on point tonight, he was getting in amongst the midfield, and we lost that link there. And Defoe done really nothing. He had one chance at the end, which we'll talk about, but he had one instant at the end, which we'll talk about, but he was ineffective because we had lost that link. And as I said, football manager tactics. You lose a goal, and instantly you think, right, let's just put another attacker on. But you miss the whole point about you need that link with the midfield there. Very, very poor. And once again, as I said, Gerrard not reading the game and not being tactically aware at that point there, and it was very, very poor from him. And as I said, he's got to carry the blame for this tonight, because it was clear for everybody to see. Hibs, as I said, on the ascendancy. We had a break on the 91st minute, and Darren McGregor got his second yellow card for pulling Defoe back, and that was the Defoe incident I was talking about. Clear yellow card. He wasn't too bothered about it. Now, obviously the controversy was in the 7th minute, he was given a yellow card for an elbow in the face of Morelos. A clear as day elbow. He knew where Morelos was. He knew exactly what he was doing. Yeah, he was only given a yellow. I read every day of the week, even apparently Stephen Craigan and Chris Sutton were saying it was a clear red card, yet the referee says it was a yellow. How many more times do our players need to get elbowed or kicked in the face before action is taken? It's unacceptable. It is really just pish poor refereeing, and we've come to expect it now. There was a few other instances in the game, but certainly the result tonight, I'm not blaming the referee for, because it was far from the referee's fault that we drew this game tonight. And as I said before, you cannot win a league when you have this many draws. I think that's us on 7 or 8 draws now, and once again Rangers have spoiled the weekend being on a Friday night. So obviously it leads into the Aberdeen quarter-final replay at Ibrox on Tuesday night. Obviously a media blackout. We'll see if there's any dodgy streams up or not, like there was the last time. But obviously we wouldn't be having a post-match then, but Dave and I plan to record a full pod just after that game. So we'll see how that goes. But Disappointing, and well, there's nothing else we can do. We've got to go on, and we'll just need to hope that other results go our way tomorrow, but that's not the point, is it? So thanks for listening, and goodbye.